Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang1, back to do another Transformers review. Now this one is a bit special for me. This is a figure that I was hoping they would do, and it's taken a little while to get it, but it's finally happened. I'm finally mostly happy. So a figure I was quite excited for when they first started doing a particular subline. And yeah, I've got one. I'm going to review it. I'm going to crack straight onto it because I'm appreciating being a little bit vague here. This is the review for the Transformers Crossovers 40th anniversary Agent Knight. Right, ladies and gentlemen, here is Agent Knight in his box. Now, the first thing I love about these crossovers is the fact that they're doing them in the old style Generation 1 boxes. So I'm just on the top there. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but you've got the transformation steps and sort of like they did on the G1 boxes. You've got the 84 battle scene on the back, the tech specs and the bios and everything like that. So they've tried to make this look as close to the original boxes as possible. And he doesn't scale with the other ones, sadly. I mean, not that I've reviewed them, but this guy is Masterpiece car scale. Yeah, picked up in Forbidden Planet for 50 quid, 49.99. I've got thoughts on this, which is why I'm actually doing. Obviously, that's why I'm doing this review, and I'm not the first person to review it, but I've got thoughts, and this figure almost hits the mark for me, and it's a shame. It's a shame because the things that I'm gonna nitpick are so fucking inconsequential, but for me, they are annoyances. So Agent Knight, for the purpose of this review, I'm not going to call it Agent Knight. I'm just going to call it KITT because that's what it is. And I was saying when they started doing these crossover things, they need to do a Knight Rider one, and I never thought they would because I thought that trying to get the rights to secure the license from what was formerly Pontiac, which I think was part of GM Motors, but Pontiac have gone under. I didn't think they'd ever get the ability to permission to do this, but they have. But whatever. So yeah, it's a figure. It's in its box. The packaging for the inside of the box was a bit of a bastard to get the figure out of it. But I did it. I put the batteries in it to like sort of make the lights and everything like that. I'll come on to that because there's so many things that they've done with this that they could have done that they didn't do, but what they ended up doing sort of detracts from the actual toy. Okay, so to get into that and show you figures, accessories, all that shit, let's get straight onto that, shall we? The figure itself. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the Knight Industries 2000 KITT for easy reference, KITT if you prefer, the 1982 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. For me, there's never been a car designed as well as this, that is, for me, aesthetically as pleasing as this car in the 42 years since it was first introduced. And that's only because I'm a sucker. I'm an absolute sucker for this car. So points in this car's favour, the detail on this, I mean, they've almost captured KITT correctly. I would have liked to have seen maybe this entire area here. I know they've put in the lights, put a blackout plate on this. Maybe raise the spoiler up a little more, make that a little bit more pronounced. If I'm going to nitpick this car, I'm going to nitpick it, right? Because this is my car, right? This is my car. And then you've got the really so annoyingly they've done this, right? And the spoiler isn't as well pronounced, and yet they've gone out of their way to include really mental fucking details, which is like the hubcaps here that sit on the inside of the wheels, and then the tiny Pontiac symbol just there on the inside, dead center of the hubcap. Interestingly enough, in terms of Knight Rider, these things, whenever they did like a stunt with one of the primary stunt cars or anything like that, these things had a tendency to go fucking bouncing right off. So a lot of these were actually held down with zip ties and sort of things like that. And with the introduction of 4K Blu-rays and that, a lot of the inconsistencies in the cars actually tend to show up. So you might see like zip ties on the hubcaps just to hold them in place. Now, He's got his red scanner just here. The installation of the batteries, 3 batteries go on the inside here, and I'm assuming this is where the sound chip is and everything like that. Obviously, there's a bit of robot kibble on the underside there. Other interesting notes, things to take away is he's got his front indicator just there, and the rear indicator, rear light thing just there. You've got the air intake ram scoop thing just here on the front. The thing that annoys me about this is they've gone so far, but they haven't gone far enough. And what do I mean by that? Well, you could have. Sorry, I've got vodka, by the way. You could have had, right? And this is me, and I will admit this now, right? Because I'm a fuckwit, right? You could have had an absolutely perfect representation of the 82 Pontiac Trans Am, which has been modified with a custom front bumper and that for KITT, right? If you'd have removed this section just here, you can see where the car is supposed to end on this line just here, okay? Instead, what you've got is you've got this bottom section just here. Now, the only points in its favour for this is it kind of makes it look like the car that had the tow hitch on the underside of it for recording purposes. So they tow one of the vehicles or like that, they had all like sort of cameras on it or whatever. It sort of looks like that, but not far enough. It's, for me, it's an annoyance because with a little bit of simple re-engineering, right? So if you want to activate things, it's this button just here, right? If you wanted to make this like sort of really good, I would have got rid of this shit altogether, right? And I would have installed one battery, right, somewhere around here, and the voice chip or one chip just there. One battery is all you need, right? If you wanted to go the whole hog and add 3 batteries in that case, make these lights, headlights, fog lights light up, and then also you could light up the stock headlights just there, okay? You could have made those light up with like a sort of a neon thing or whatever if you insist on having 3 batteries. But what they've done is they've included sound effects, right, which is fine. And they've included voice clips, not voice clips from the original show, re-recorded voice clips. And so what happens is you've got like about 8 different sound effects and voice clips in this, when I think all you really needed was the ability to light up the front scanner bar, right? And the whooshing sound, right? That's all you needed for this. Maybe a separate button underneath so you could just deactivate the sound for the whooshing and just have the red light going back and forth. Sadly, what you've got is this 3 battery pack sort of thing down here to accommodate sound effects and voice clips that I don't give 2 fucks about, right? So we press this little button just here. You could have had that, for example, right? But then you've got all these.
I am the voice of Night Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference. KITT if you prefer.
Very nice, if you want that. Or...
hold on, this could be a bit bumpy.
I personally would have had just the light and that sound effect, okay? But they go on. Turbo boost. No one gives a fuck.
Oh, you're sure this is the right way? Very well. Thank you, sir.
And then...
I am the voice of Night Industry 2000's
yeah. So we go back to the beginning.
for easy reference. KITT if you prefer.
It's a lovely thing that they've included the front scanner bar and everything like that. But I think all you needed for that was the whooshing sound and the scanner bar, and that would have been quite happy. Include 1 battery for that and the sound chip there, and maybe put this button on the RAM in scoop things like that. So that's the things that they've included. What about the things they haven't included on this? Okay, so for example, I mean, if you wanted to go the whole hog, if you wanted to make this really, really special, in fact, do you know what? Before I come on to that, let's have a look at some of the things that KITT came with. Okay, so it comes with an instruction booklet that wasn't needed, 1 machine gun sort of thing, 1 pistol type thing, and 1 tiny little wrist communicator bracelet sort of thing. I believe you can store the guns somewhere on the underside. I'm not fucking really bothered about that. Okay, we're talking about KITT. So, what sort of things would I have liked to have seen on this? The things that they've included. All right, fine, you've included them. Personally, I didn't think you had to.
KITT signing off.
Okay, that's new. I didn't expect it to do that. But for all the real nerds out there, what you could have done with this is you could have made it do super pursuit mode. So for a tertiary extra transformation, pull out the front and sort of bring out the sort of the wing guards and the air intake valves and bring this back up, little back section up for a minute. In fact, what I'd like to do is show a clip of super pursuit mode in this video. I don't know if I will or not. Or another thing that they could have done with this is just on a separate hinge for the rear wheels or something like that. They could have, and it's a throwaway gimmick, but it would have looked really cool. The high traction drop down vehicles when they had for some of the stunt cars, where they the kits that they used had like a 4x4 for different terrains and sort of things like that. And what I'll do is I'll show a picture here of one of the stunt cars that they used that they employed this on. In the episode KITT versus Car. So basically, the back of the vehicle is higher than the front, it's because it had a rear-wheel drive ability, and that was something that they could just turn on and off at will. So basically, just like sort of extend the back of the car up a little bit, or bring the rear wheels back down, or something on a separate hinge, and you could have had that. That would have been really cool. Yeah, but it's almost exactly brilliant. Right, but that's how I would have done it. If you wanted these to light up, fine, then that justifies all this down here. Put these light up, these light up. Other than that, all you need is the whoosh whoosh sound and the red light and one battery on the inside, and then a sound chip there. And the thing is, as you can see from the underside, it's not as if they couldn't have fucking done it. It just, all you would have needed is to maybe pop the hood or something and install the battery and everything like that. Again, you know, I'm not the toy designer. I'm just the person who buys it and then complains. But apart from those nitpicks, right? Apart from those little nitpicks, he is absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to give you a size comparison to another Trans Am in the Transformers line. This is one of the Decepticon Battle Chargers that I repainted years ago as Car. Even painted the hubcaps on it. How fucking ridiculous is that? In fact, I would be very, very surprised, right, if they don't repaint this as Car with the silver trim and everything like that, and a yellow scanner at the front. If they don't do that, right, especially considering Peter Cullen voiced Car in the original episode, I will be absolutely fucking shocked. But that's near enough. That's near enough KITT. Apart from those little nitpicks, he is a very, very, very faithful representation of the screen used vehicle. Well, apart from this shit underneath, right? Rolls very, very nicely on his plastic tires. Would have been nice to have had rubber tires on this, to be fair. Actually, do you know what? In terms of you could run a few wires through the legs or whatever, and just had the fuel cap as the fucking button for the sounds if you wanted to. I heard there's a rep label set for this where, you know, they get rid of. I mean, this is a nice touch. The night symbol on the where the number plate should be, and I think the stickers as well sort of go over the windows to give them the tinted out windows and sort of things like that. Yeah, I'm not going to bother with that. That's just an option that apparently there is. I would say for this alone, 8 out of 10. And the reason it's an 8 out of 10 for the Alt mode is because I love the Alt mode, but you know, for the reasons that I've specified, and for the additions that they didn't add to the vehicle to make it feel a little bit more like KITT, like special features, that's why it gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Having said that, I'm quite happy. The other annoying thing is you can see the hands on the underside of the vehicle. That you would hope that they would peg up a little bit more than they actually do. But you know what? It doesn't matter. And you know, he does his thing. So we are now going to be looking at the transformation for KITT. Okay, as I said, this wasn't difficult. I didn't require the whatchamacallit, the instructions for this. But yeah, I will come on to the transformation in due course. But just one more look at the car itself. How absolutely incredible it is. Okay. Right, so to transform it, we are going to start by popping the doors. Just like this. Okay. And then we're going to start thinking about detaching the windshield and everything like that. Now, this pops up the back section. Okay, so what we're going to do is get the fucking thing in focus, is what we're going to do. There we go. Whenever I'm trying, why is it whenever I try to do a review, the first thing this wants to do is go out of focus. So what we're going to do is, now we've got that, we are going to flip the car over, and these sections just here, we're going to fold them out. Okay. We are then going to fold out the back of the car. No, we're not. We're going to split it. We're going to split the back of the car like that. And at the top there like that. And then we can start thinking about folding out the back sections, okay? At this point, turn this entire section around 180, okay? And then these back sections just here, flip this section all the way out like this. And on this side as well. Then we're going to close the legs up and then bring these up for the feet. And that's basically the bottom half done. Okay, so now we are going to move up to the top part of the car. And for that, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. So now that we've got the doors out of the way, we are going to unpeg the arms. We're going to unpeg the arms and start bringing the wheel out from the arches like this. Okay. Oh, you motherfucker. I was warned that that was a possibility. There we go. Right. So from there, okay, I'm going to come around to the back. I'm going to do this. I'm then going to collapse somehow the air intake valve. Okay. Somehow. How? Oh. There we are. I'm going to push down on it, right? Okay, and get it out of the way. Then the head section is going to come up somehow, like this. Okay, and it's going to flip up like that. Now, it's almost starting to take shape. What we're going to do is I'm then going to turn the head around 180 degrees. And this right here is a fucking pain in the ass, right? So just underneath here, this section here is supposed to tab into this section here, right? Very sort of like proud masterpiece transformation. Except my one will not, under any circumstances, go that far. So I'm going to get the arms positioned, and the right way would help. Like that, okay? We're going to then get the doors sorted out. We're going to get the... and that's, I don't know, fucking... I think what's supposed to happen is the doors are supposed to... There we go. Go around the back of the windshield somehow. I don't know how I did it on that one, to be honest. Okay, that's not sitting the way it should do at all. Basically, this is supposed to lock in, right? And the thing is, on my one, it doesn't want to go all the way down. If I can get those out of the way, work out what the fuck's gone wrong with this windshield. There we go. Right, okay. So the windshield's like that. Bring the doors round the back if you want to, like that, okay? And now all that's left is to try and collapse. Fuck off. Trying to get it down, and it won't. And it's really annoying. So there's obviously, I'm doing something wrong here. But But yeah, for some reason, my one doesn't really want to play ball. So what I was going to do was try and cut this, but do you know what? Mine won't go any further than that, and that's a fucking annoyance. As a result, he can barely see over his very, very ample tits. Yeah, you can arrange the doors how you want, sort of blah, blah, blah. Essentially, though, after a lot of fucking about, there is KITT in his Hasselhoff, I guess, inspired mode with like sort of the sunglasses and everything like that. And these sections here are supposed to represent very, very tight blue jeans. Now, the joints on mine are quite tight, which is cool. The problem is he's a decent enough robot mode, and he's a decent enough sort of representation of what I guess a robot of KITT would look like. But in terms of these crossover toys, we're not really coming for the final robot figure, are we? We're coming for the accurate alt mode. The Ghostbusters one nailed the alt mode. I haven't transformed that yet. I couldn't give a fuck about the robot mode. And the Back to the Future one is still sealed. I was going to leave this remain sealed in box, but I was just so desperate to try and mess around with this. So he's got his little pistol just there. The pistol looks ridiculous in his hand. He's got his machine gun thing there. That looks slightly better. And his little communicator will go on his wrist. I'm not going to bother doing that. All in all, and you know, he's got his articulation and sort of things like that. All in all, he's a decent toy. But there are slight problems with it. So all in all, I would say he gets with the robot mode combined with the alt mode, I'd say he gets a solid, yeah, it remains a 7.5 out of 10. Problems with not like sort of my one not connecting the way it should do just here. This thing will not line up. Which you would think that his head would have more clearance, and it doesn't because of this thing just here. As you can see, the head sculpt itself is decent enough. No real issues with that at all. But yeah, I don't. Thing is, I'm not really sure what I was expecting. I'm glad it exists. I'm really glad it exists. I just wish that there was a couple more little gimmicks that they had done with the alt mode that they didn't. So ultimately, it's a borderline missed opportunity, but it's still fun. It's still fun. I will say that much. So thank you very much for watching this review. This is Joe Gavin Barry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I'll be back next week with more fun and fucking hilarity and japes. Do hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think of it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. More stuff coming on the channel soon. 7 Days to Die is continuing. I'm still trying to get fucking Star Trek sorted out, but I don't have a lot of time to edit it. Yeah. And this is me with KITT. The name Agent Knight can fuck off, quite frankly. I'm here with KITT saying thank you for watching. I'll be back soon. Until then, take care.
And when tomorrow comes, I feel you laying by me, like you ain't got nowhere else to go.